Taraji P. Henson, NBC Tonight.
Coming at you live, Snoop Deal Double G. What is it about this show that lights you up, makes you feel some kind of way?
The camaraderie we have, we're having a lot of fun.
Ain't it like a family reunion?
Better.
I think I've never been on a team before. Like, I've always been a solo act.
Right? How does it feel having 3 all-stars on your team?
Amazing.
Job easy, right? What are you excited about?
Like having you here, you and Buble, you never know if that's going to happen again. You add a little Snoop Dogg sauce.
Paprika. Just a little paprika.
Live from Rhinelander, this is News Watch 12 at 10. The Northwoods' best news with Dan Hagan, meteorologist Chase Ropanak, and Saul Meyer with sports. News from where you live starts now.
Good evening, I'm Dan Hagan. School started today, so over the weekend, many kids squeezed in as much play as possible. An Eagle River boy was squeezing lemons, though, making lemonade for a local canine unit. Newswatch 12's Jake Force has more.
He could be doing this for himself. He could be playing, and he's choosing to put his time and efforts into this, and it's admirable.
Michelle Favorite couldn't say enough about how proud she is of her son Jackson, who hosted a lemonade stand through a couple of weekends over this summer to raise money for the Vilas County Sheriff's Canine Unit, Deputy Zach Stern, and Police Canine Hilo. The unit is funded solely by donations, and while Michelle helped out where needed, it's Jackson, who dreams of one day being a police officer, acting as the driving force behind Lemonades for Hilo.
I wanted to do a lemonade stand for a really long time, and one day I felt like doing it, and me and my mom talked about it in the car when we went to get lemons, and I thought of, what about like supporting the police dog, because I want to be a police officer when I grow up.
And it doesn't stop with just a lemonade stand. There's also merchandise available, as well as a GoFundMe page that you can still donate to. And the hard work paid off back in May when a very special visitor decided to stop by Jackson's lemonade stand.
The Officer Stern, he came with Hilo, which was the canine, and he got to show us how they do like the training stuff with like the arm.
Michelle Favorite added that what her son is doing is bigger than just raising money for a good cause.
It's an inspiration, I think, for everybody, and a little reminder, just kind of the way things are going, just to increase positivity around law enforcement. And you got a kid out here raising over $1,000 in, you know, the 6 days that he did this. It's just, it makes you feel good.
And while he hasn't decided on whether or not to continue hosting the stand, Jackson sincerely thanked the community for their support.
Thank you for everyone to coming here and buying lemonade and Venmoing and buying shirts and stuff. Thanks for supporting the GoFundMe.
Still some good days for ice-cold lemonade, Jeff, I think.
Yeah, temperatures in the 70s out there today. We could go for 80 tomorrow, but then some much colder temperatures are on the way. High of 73 in Rhinelander today, even some upper 70s across central Wisconsin earlier. Many of us could go for 80 across central Wisconsin tomorrow, but then a strong cold front's on the way. Right now, it's 62 in Rhinelander, 56 for Antigo. It's comfortable out there. We'll mostly have low temperatures down near 50 tonight, and then tomorrow, back up in the upper 70s to low 80s for much of the area. There is lots of smoke in the atmosphere right now. It's a loft. Air quality is currently good across north central Wisconsin, but there's a haze, a gorgeous sunset earlier. This will all be back tomorrow as well. All right, so clear skies across the area now, but there is something over here to the west of us. That's our next weather system. As all of this is shifting this way, we'll likely get some showers in here on Thursday with a cold front that could hold high temperatures Friday in the 50s around here. Our forecast, looking at partly cloudy skies, low temperatures down near 50. Your full forecast is coming up. Dan.
The man suspected in the death of a collegiate gymnast in Wisconsin was in court today. Carol Welsh was shot to death Friday in her apartment near the campus of UW-Whitewater. Authorities have arrested Chad Richards in her murder. Richards appeared in court today where his bond was set at $1 million. 21-year-old Carol Welsh was an accomplished gymnast who won gymnastics championships on the national stage. The Democratic candidate for the Northwoods State Senate seat held a meet and greet in Rhinelander today. Andy Rich talked to voters at Pioneer Park about her priorities if she's elected. Those include boosting public education funding and making child care more affordable. She also wants the Joint Finance Committee with Senator Mary Felskowski to release $125 million worth of PFAS cleanup and testing assistance.
People need this money to know if poison is coming out of their tap water and if their kids are safe. We have contamination in our farm fields, and we're not testing our food goods.
Felskowski has argued that Democrats' PFAS remediation plan would hurt farmers who unknowingly spread contaminated sludge on their fields, but Rich said Republicans' plan would give polluters a free pass and be an unfair burden on taxpayers. Rich asked Felskowski to participate in 3 debates in front of voters.
The people of Wisconsin have the right to know what's really on the ballot this November. And the best way to do that is to sit down with Mary in front of people and talk about where our priorities are for the state so that voters know going to the polls what's really on the line.
Rich issued the debate challenge to Felskowski 3 weeks ago, and according to her, Felskowski has not responded. We emailed the senator's campaign team this morning and have not received a response yet. A fire department near Rhinelander has long seen the need to add a ladder truck to their fleet of firefighting equipment. After years of searching for a budget-friendly option for such an expensive piece of equipment, Pine Lake Fire Chief Brian Gehrig is pleased to announce the department has successfully acquired a 75-foot aerial fire truck.
This particular truck does have a little bit larger pump on it, so we can pump more water with the truck. And it also gives our firefighter the advantage of getting up and over the fire safely without having to set up and climb up ladders.
He said especially during winter months, the department has been seeing a lot more metal roofs, and that makes it very difficult with the snow load to get up and operate safely on a metal roof. Gehrig said this will help more than just the Pine Lake Township.
We automatic mutual aid to the Township of Stella and also to the Township of Pelican. We are also involved in what is called Mavis 114, which we would go anywhere in the county. Actually, we have gone anywhere in the state.
Gehrig said he is very thankful for all the people that came together to bring home the ladder truck. Coming up after the break, we'll have more on a complicated situation in Israel. That's after Weather with Jeff, right here on Newswatch 12.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Everyday prices are too high. Food, rent, gas, back to school clothes. That is called Bidenomics. A loaf of bread cost 50% more today. Ground beef is up almost 50%. There's not much left at the end of the month. Bidenomics is working. The price of housing has gone up. It feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. And we are very proud of Bidenomics.
I was robbed. They tried to run me over with a getaway car. He almost killed me right over here. He was laughing as he fractured my skull.
Amanda's attacker was an illegal immigrant drug dealer arrested twice before, but released by San Francisco DA Kamala Harris.
If Kamala Harris hadn't let him out, this never would have happened to me.
Kamala put violent illegals, convicted felons, back on the streets.
Kamala just doesn't care about protecting people like me.
Make America Great Again Inc. is responsible for the content of this advertising.
In today's economy, it seems the value of a dollar continues to shrink, while the services offered are getting less and less. Here at Maher Water Corporation, a new high-efficiency system made by WaterCare can help ease the stress on your checkbook. We are always available to analyze and recommend one of these units.
So while we can't actually make your money grow, we can make the value of what you get from Maher seem like it.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever, overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies and severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Donald Trump may try to deny it, but those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control. We'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
All right, plenty of sunshine out there today. High temperatures back in the 70s area-wide. Tomorrow, same story, but then a cold front comes through on Thursday with rain showers, a gusty northwest wind. It's going to really cool down around here for later Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So break out the warmer jackets, right? Out there right now, though, it is 62 in Rhinelander. Clear skies here. A southwest breeze at 7, a dew point at 50, and the pressure steady at 30.22. Over in Wausau, 63 for you, with that southeast breeze around 5, and the dew point there of 55. Around the horn, temperatures hanging out pretty much near 60 right now. We'll have low temperatures down near 50 tonight as dew points are kind of up there this evening. It's increasingly more humid across our area this evening. Look at the heat across the west still here at 10:09, right? 81 in Rapid City, near 80 in Pierre. So here you go. It's warm over there, but that is moving in our direction. Likely a couple 80s across the region tomorrow for one day only before the cold front comes through. So here we go. You ready for this ride? 78 tomorrow-ish, and then 69 for a high on Thursday, 59 for a high on Friday, 56 for Saturday. It's going to be a much cooler weekend this week compared to last weekend. It was gorgeous, right? And then it climbed back upwards. Lots of signs now pointing toward heat returning toward the middle portions of next week. So we are on a temperature roller coaster ride. So get like your puffy coats ready and also your windbreakers because we have some wind on the way and some cooler temperatures on the way as well. All right, the wind out there now, non-existent. That could give us some dense fog late tonight. It's also going to do a couple things here. There's lots of smoke in the upper atmosphere right now. As the wind goes calm tonight, this smoke could settle a bit across our region this evening. So we'll have to watch that air quality again overnight tonight and throughout the day tomorrow. No clouds across the area now at all. They are across the west, though. Here's our next system. There is a front in here, an area of low pressure in here, and you can see the trajectory, right? This is all kind of moving this way. So we will be under this, not tomorrow, but more so on Thursday with that cold front in the region. The wind's going to shift out of the northwest, and we are in for quite a temperature ride again later Thursday into Friday with those rain showers in the area as well. Our forecast then for tonight, though, is mostly clear skies. There is some haze in the atmosphere. Look for low temperatures down near 50. That's near average with that southwest breeze around 5. For tomorrow, it's Wednesday already, so lots of sunshine tomorrow, just like today, kind of breezy, just like today. That southwest wind could gust there in 10 to 20. As air temperatures reach for 80, we'll probably stop just short, though, tomorrow across central Wisconsin for sure with that gusty southwest wind. And then looking ahead, your 7-day forecast, well, it shows the story, right? Tomorrow, 78. Thursday, rain is now likely, off and on showers throughout the day, dry hours too. Wind shifts Thursday evening. Friday, a high of 59, some showers early. And then here's the weekend, temperatures in the 50s on Saturday, low 60s on Sunday. Dan?
Thanks, Jeff. The Bayfield School District is launching an Ojibwe immersion program this year. It's for kindergarten students this fall as an effort with the Red Cliff Ojibwe to bring back their language. The district of roughly 420 students is one of the few in Wisconsin where the vast majority of kids, 70%, are Native American. The district intends to expand immersion programming to K through 5th grade students at the classroom level by adding a grade each year. Hundreds of thousands of protesters mobilized across Israel, claiming Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu did not do enough to save hostages. Two sources tell NBC News President Biden could be on the verge of offering a take-it-or-leave-it ceasefire proposal as soon as this week. NBC's Tracy Wilkins has details from Washington.
For a third day, hundreds of thousands of protesters have taken to the streets of Israel after the discovery of 6 murdered hostages, sending a message to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to end the war and free the living hostages. A message echoed today by former Hamas hostage Aviva Segal, whose husband Keith is still being held.
I believe that Bibi Netanyahu is killing the hostages, and too much for this whole country to handle. And that's what you see. The people have had enough.
Some 250 hostages were taken on October 7th from Israel after the Hamas attack. It's believed fewer than 70 remain living in captivity. Hamas has taken responsibility for the 6 recovered over the weekend, saying they've instructed captors to kill if rescues are attempted. Yesterday, Netanyahu apologized for the killed hostages, saying, "I'm asking for your forgiveness that we did not manage to bring them back still alive." Then doubled down on why it's important for his troops to block Hamas's weapons supply on Gaza's border, a foothold considered a key block to ceasefire. President Biden and his top aides have led negotiations between Israel and Hamas for months. Yesterday, Biden bluntly expressing his frustration with the agreement process.
Do you think he's doing enough? No.
Frustration echoed by those familiar with ongoing talks.
No matter how hard the United States pushes, Hamas doesn't want a deal. This Israeli government doesn't want a deal.
In the middle of failed negotiations are families mourning their dead.
My sweet boy, finally you're free.
And others praying for safe returns. The path to peace for either still not clear. From Washington, Tracy Wilkins, NBC News.
Lakeland Union took on Northland Pines in GNC soccer action. See who came away with a conference win after the break.
Sign up by September 10th and secure your foursome spot at the inaugural Knuckle Draggers Golf Scramble, Friday, September 20th. 10 a.m. shotgun start at Bass Lake Golf Course in Deerbrook. All proceeds support your local veterans.
Get an 11% rebate on everything at Menards. Protect your boats and recreational vehicles with FVP, RV, and Marine antifreeze. It has burst-proof protection down to -50 degrees, keeping you protected against freezing temperatures. Get a gallon for $2.49 after rebate. Attract a variety of songbirds and cardinals to your feeder with Enchanted Gardens Cardinal Mix. It's a blend of nutritious seeds that keeps birds coming back. Get a bag for $15.99 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
When a crane collapsed during construction of a Major League sports stadium, 3 workers lost their lives. Their widows called us. When maintenance workers were permanently injured by an industrial accident at a public utilities power plant, the 7 injured workers called us. When a factory exploded, injuring dozens of workers, 18 victims, including all 3 families of men who lost their lives, called us. Because Wisconsinites know who to call when it's a must-win scenario. They call Habish, and Rotier. National reputation, hometown service.
When we walk, when we reach, when we play, we're moving through life. But an estimated 80% of Americans aren't getting their recommended daily amount of physical activity. It's time to move and keep moving, America. And when you need help, physical therapists and physical therapist assistants are by your side. Because we are meant to climb, to dance, to soar, to thrive. Choose to move. Choose physical therapy.
Project North, September 20th through the 21st in downtown Rhinelander. Music, art, and sustainability.
Join us for Colorama, Saturday, September 21st from 9 to 3 at the St. Germain Community Park. Events include craft show, live music, farmers market, car show, and pints in the park.
Coming up on Newswatch 12 today, we'll talk about an upcoming bike race and demo day at Monaco Winter Park.
Speaking of bikes, you got some good weather out there for Wednesday to go biking, not so much for Thursday.
high-quality volleyball match took place with Wausau West hosting Newman Catholic in a non-conference showdown. The Fighting Cardinals are coming off of a state championship appearance last season, their 7th since 2009. The Warriors were looking to snap a 3-match losing streak and get back in the win column. So let's see which team would prevail in this crosstown battle. We start in the first set. Some good defense from Newman Catholic. They're able to return the kill attempt from Wausau West just over the net, and they're going to turn the defense into offense. Alexis Rice is going to set up Grace Holter, who spikes it. Referee calls it in, and it's a kill for the Cardinals. But the Warriors, they would respond later in the set. West is able to showcase their defense as well. Ava No stops the touch from Newman Catholic, and that is going to set up a McKenna Gale kill to get the Warriors going. However, this match would end up going to the Fighting Cardinals later in the set. Good set from Rice, and Annika Svenzis is going to spike it down to get Newman Catholic another point. They would go on to sweep, winning this one 3-0. Let's head over to Northland Pines, where the Eagles hosted a quad taking on Phillips. The Loggers, McTaya Eckert, who's going to put away the early kill here for Phillips. But the Eagles would respond. They're going to go to the outside, and it's Cammie Neff, the sophomore, and she is going to find the floor, and that's a kill of her own. A couple of points later, and the Eagles are going to set the outside again. This time it's Autumn Stecker who is going to pick up a kill. Now in the second set, it's match point for Phillips, and the Loggers are going to go right back to their big middle, and it's Eckert who's going to put this one down, and that would do it. Phillips would win this match 2-0. Going on at the same time was another match, this one between Florence and Three Lakes. Strong start for the Bobcats. Naomi Millen on the outside, and she picks up a kill. Let's go to the second set. Three Lakes starts to fight back, and Malia Zeus at the net. She's going to make the block, and the freshman picks up a point for the Jays. The story of this match was on the Bobcat side. Camden Johnson, the big middle hitter, here on the outside. She goes straight down the line, picks up a kill. A few points later, right back to her in the middle. She's going to hit over the Three Lakes block, and it is going to fall in for another kill. Florence would go on to win this one 2-0. There was more going on in Eagle River today, so let's take it from the gym out onto the soccer field. Northland Pines played host to Lakeland Union today in a GNC soccer match. Lakeland looking to start the year 2-0 after making the sectional finals last season. Could the T-Birds get a road win, or would Pines defend the home field? First half, T-Birds got off to a strong start in this one. Second minute of the match, Marshall Holmquist going to put this one home. Lakeland on the board early, and it is 1-0 T-Birds. Back comes Northland Pines. Anthony Gaetano, free kick from about 40 yards out, and he's going to clear the goalkeeper into the back of the net as Pines gets on the board. But back comes Lakeland Union. Referee's letting them play a little bit here on this play, and a couple players go down. Lincoln Friedley going to come away with it for the T-Birds, and he is going to put away a goal. That would be your difference in this one as the T-Birds win it 2-1. Some other GNC soccer scores tonight. The Hodags of Rhinelander traveled to Medford to take on the Raiders, and in a low-scoring matchup, it was a 0-0 tie at the end of regulation, with Medford winning it 3-0 in penalty kicks to get the conference point. On to some GNC girls tennis. Rhinelander traveled to Stevens Point to take on Pacelli Catholic. The Cardinals were able to defend their home court, winning it 4-3, with Rhinelander winning the 3 doubles matches and Pacelli sweeping in singles. Over to Medford, the Raiders grabbed a conference win, taking down Anago 7-0. The Milwaukee Brewers are looking to take each of their first 2 games of their series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Tonight, the teams needed more than 9 innings to declare a winner. In a game that would end up going 12 innings, the Cardinals came away with a 7-4 victory. Despite the loss, the Brewers' 10-game lead in the NL Central stayed at 10, but the Cubs lost as well tonight. We'll be right back after the break.
Hard water damage makes it hard to keep your home looking picture perfect. Culligan softeners reduce buildup and cleaning time, transforming your water into the fine art of a long-lasting clean. Culligan, water you love.
Eric Hovde, multimillionaire California banker, named one of Orange County's most influential residents. A glamorous lifestyle, the best parties. Hovde bragged about being in the 1%, but accused Wisconsin farmers of not working hard. Now, this California banker wants to buy a Senate seat in Wisconsin. Eric Hovde, what an arrogant, phony fraud. DSCC is responsible for the content of this ad.
Dear unbreakable spirit, when the terrain is gnarly, you steady us. When obstacles are ahead, you lift us. When the turf is hostile, you inspire us. Own a legend. Toyota Trucks.
Right now, you can lease a tough new 2024 Tacoma for $319 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
What would you do? How far would you go? To get to Schindelholtz Dental.
Phones were made to help us connect, and somehow they've made us less connected. Which is ironic, don't you think? We try to put our phones down, but we need to pick them up to see the menu. We can't watch something without also watching something else. Ironic. But look, here's a phone company who wants you to use your phone less.
That's ironic.
Yeah, but in a good way. Let's find us again with Us Mode. U.S. Cellular, built for us.
Traffic jam.
And I'm already late.
Right now, we're running our 60-60-60 sale. So when you purchase your new concrete coating, you get a $60 Visa gift card plus either 60% off installation or 60-month no-interest financing. This is one of our best deals of the year. So visit our website or call the number for your new floor today.
Welcome back. Wake boats make really big wakes, and it can be a lot of fun. But many argue they damage shorelines and lake bottoms. Our own Christopher Bouchon spoke to some locals who love wakeboarding and say, if done properly, wakeboating can coexist with lake life.
Stephen Radke is an engineer that worked on ships during his military service. He said wakeboats have a unique feature called a ballast system.
What that allows us to do is actually add a little bit of more weight into the back, and by adjusting the speeds and then by adjusting the angles of the boats, we can actually create a wave to be able to surf behind.
While wakeboats have been around for about a decade, residents are having concerns about the transfer of invasive species to other lakes. Radke said the University of Minnesota did a study where they tested every watercraft.
Every watercraft had invasive species. It's almost impossible to actually pull water out of every watercraft. And in fact, the most water was found actually in a stern drive engine, and the highest amount of invasive species was found in a stern drive engine.
Along with invasive species, residents are concerned about the damage wakeboats can have on the shoreline. Radke said while this is an important issue, wakeboats cannot work correctly close to the shore or in shallow waters.
The waves don't form, and so we surf in the deeper sections of the lake, which naturally puts us usually 200 to 300 feet off the shoreline.
Ed Jinak has been a visitor of the Northwoods for many years. He started wake surfing around 8 years ago, and when he decided to buy a wake boat for himself, he looked into all the available research.
Because I didn't want to buy a boat that was going to be bad for the environment, and that was really important to me because I'm a 57-year visitor to the Northwoods up here, and I'm very environmentally friendly and want to make sure that this lake is here for my children who come up and enjoy the area up here as well.
While being on a boat or surfing is Janak's happy place, he said it's just a good way to get the family together.
I think it is a wide range of family people that can enjoy it. And it isn't just for the pros, although the pros are out there doing tricks that you wouldn't believe, but you don't have to be able to do those tricks to get out really and enjoy the day, with your friends and family out on a boat like this. So.
Reporting in Eagle River, Christopher Bouchon, Newswatch 12.
Why take the hit on this 2024 High Country when you can keep $13,000 in your pocket on this used 2024? If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Go now to lenstruck.com. That's lenstruck.com.
My day is packed. Client meetings, patient rounds,
getting kids out the door.
But Eric Hovde thinks all women care about is Hollywood.
It's just deplorable, sadly, with, females. They spend too much time focused on what's going on in Hollywood.
Well, guess what, Eric Hovde?
We know you supported overturning Roe versus Wade.
And we know you'd vote for a national abortion ban, too.
Eric Hovde must think he knows better than us.
What is wrong with this guy?
I'm Tammy Baldwin, and I approve this message.
Everyone deserves the fastest, most reliable internet speeds, regardless of where they live. That's why Spectrum offers the fastest speeds in more neighborhoods than any other provider.
Switch to Spectrum Internet for only $49.99 a month. Call 1-833-376-4999.
With Spectrum Internet, you can power all of your devices to enjoy streaming, video chatting, and gaming. I rely on Spectrum Internet. You should too. Call now.
Hey there, I'm Lance Bass, and this is CHIP. For more than 100 years, American Humane has been on the front lines protecting animals in times of crisis. From Pearl Harbor to 9/11, the California wildfires, and the coronavirus pandemic, American Humane Rescue has provided life-saving assistance for animals in virtually every major national disaster. If you're anything like me, your pets mean the world to you. And if disaster strikes, you want to keep them safe. To prepare for an oncoming disaster, ensure your pet has secure and up-to-date identification. And if you must evacuate, remember to take your disaster preparedness kit with you. To learn more about disaster planning and how to keep your best friends safe, please visit AmericanHumane.org.
Why take the hit on this 2024 high country when you can keep 13 grand in your pocket on this used 2024? If you can't see the difference, why pay the difference? Go now to lenstruck.com. That's lenstruck.com.
Winter's coming. Fight back against rust and protect your investment with Rust Solutions underbody rust proofing for vehicles and trailers. Call to make your appointment today.
All right, Jeff and Drew, there's a new star on the iconic Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's Michael Keaton, a famous filmmaker, and he was honored today, and he has the 2,788th star. You know what? I really don't care about the stars. I just wanted an excuse to talk about Beetlejuice, the 1988 movie, and its sequel coming out this Thursday. I'm really excited. I'm going to see it.
So you just saw Beetlejuice for the first time, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay, so now the sequel comes out 2 days from now.
And it's called Beetlejuice.
It is? Because you can't say it 3 times. That's...
Yeah, well, Drew's never seen it.
We don't want to give it away too much.
I have not seen it, so we're going to go.
Well, it's going to be raining soon, Jeff. Might be a good day
well,
to get inside.
Thursday.
You didn't let me finish
my... sorry, okay.
I had this great punchline.
Come on, I'm ready. Here we go.
Just do the weather.
I got to hear the rest of it. I'm still ready. Give your moment. Come on.
It's going to be raining soon. It'll be a great day for Drew and everyone else to watch Beetlejuice and then watch it in theaters.
Oh my gosh,
you're still going to let me finish it. You still let me finish.
When do I get in there? Okay, let's go to the weather maps because this isn't going very well. All right, temperature-wise, hanging out near 60 across our region right now. We'll have lows down near 50 tonight. We'll give Dan one more chance here to give it a go. Rain showers to the west of us now. We're going to arrive on Thursday. Dan, rain showers Thursday. Okay. So we can go to the theater and watch Beetlejuice. Is that your punchline, or is there something more?
How does it feel to be interrupted during your segment?
I don't like it.
I don't like the Friday weather.
Well, he's got
Are we fighting? What's happening?
I don't like the Friday weather.
Oh,
so
gosh.
not good.
Thanks for joining us on Newswatch 12 at 10. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Everyday prices are too high. Food, rent, gas, back to school clothes. That is called Bidenomics. A loaf of bread costs 50% more today. Ground beef is up almost 50%. There's not much left at the end of the month. Bidenomics is working. The price of housing has gone up. It feels so hard to just be able to get ahead. And we are very proud of Bidenomics.
Are you worried that health issues could keep you from qualifying for a Medicare Advantage plan? Don't be. You can't be turned down for any medical reason. Plus, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Medicare Advantage plans may be available in your area with additional benefits. If you're new to Medicare, recently moved, or losing coverage, you may be eligible to enroll in an Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Medicare Advantage plan today. Call now for your free Medicare benefits review. Medicare Advantage plans with additional benefits may be available. Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Medicare Advantage plans may offer all-in-one Medicare coverage with lower unexpected out-of-pocket costs. Plus, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield all-in-one Medicare Advantage plans combine multiple benefits on one plan card. Compare all-in-one plans in your area today. The Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Medicare Benefit Helpline is accepting calls right now to see what plans with additional benefits may be available to you. You don't get a Medicare Advantage plan with additional benefits automatically. If you are losing coverage, moving, or new to Medicare, you may be eligible to enroll today. Call for your free Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Medicare Benefits Review. Make sure you have your red, white, and blue Medicare card when you call. A licensed insurance agent can help you compare Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield Medicare Advantage plans in your area and determine if you're eligible. Remember, you don't get a Medicare Advantage plan automatically. Call to see if